You alright guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to my channel, as usual. There's sort of an age-old question which I want to really run past all you guys, because I get a lot of stick about racing simulations and basically which one's better, because at the moment, as of now, there is two major racing sims, obviously, which are Gran Turismo and Forza. Both belonging to different consoles and both exclusives on different consoles, and this is where it all comes into play. And basically what I want to do is actually ask you guys a question and get your views on it. So without further ado, I shall get on with it. Like I say, two different franchises, two exclusive games for different consoles, and obviously those two are going to be, obviously if you can see that on, Gran Turismo and Forza. Now the reason I picked these two is because they came out around about the same time. They really went up against each other. A lot of people would fight that Gran Turismo was the game that defined the racing simulation, and I would agree with them. I really would. It is an absolutely fantastic racing sim. In my view, I like both of them. You know, that's just me. But yeah, Gran Turismo defined what the racing sim could be from the PlayStation 1 days, and that was a daring move for, obviously, Polyphony Digital, who made the games. And like I say, they've done well to keep it going. They really have. On top of that, it kind of gets a little bit of a more push out of that, because obviously when the Xbox came out, it really didn't have that many exclusives besides things like Halo and I think Fable. And even then, Fable came a little bit further on in the Xbox's life, and it was very touch and go, because they weren't sure whether the original Xbox was going to do that well. But it did, and obviously it led to the Xbox 360, which, if you can see behind me, it's Forza at the moment playing. But I mean, for the time, I think it was either Gran Turismo 3 or Gran Turismo 4 that Polyphony Digital were on when the first Forza game came out for the original Xbox. And obviously that was designed as a direct competitor to Gran Turismo, and a lot of people kind of threw Forza under the bus, as it were, because obviously to go up to such a franchise and say, well, we want to challenge this one, and for the day that was a little bit more of a big deal, because they were the only two racing simulations on the market that kind of give that real racing simulation feel. If you were to get a wheel to play with both of these, they aimed for the hardcore petrol head, as they were. But yeah, a lot of people try and fight for each corner, which one's better, which one's easier to play, as it were. And the way I can explain it is, obviously Gran Turismo is aimed at all those hardcore gamers or racing simulation enthusiasts that want an in-depth experience, something with all the parts, all the cars and everything like that. And if you're one of those people that love cars to bits, as obviously you like the look of the Bugatti Veyron, or you like the look of the Ferraris or Porsches or like Lamborghinis, this game, I think, it'd be a little bit more complicated for the people that aren't petrol heads. They aimed more at the hardcore mechanicking kind of side, or engineering of the car side, and that's where that stands. Whereas obviously Forza, they went for a more casual push, if you will, because they went for an experience where any racing fan could jump into a car and get on their way. That was their go at it. And I think that's what they had envisioned from the beginning, 1010 Studios, that's what they did. They created an experience that any person could jump into a car, no matter what it'd be, and say, yeah, I like this car. But you could jump into any car, again, Lamborghinis, Bugatti Veyrons later on, which were actually in Forza 3. But yeah, I mean, there's so many different opinions on these games, there's so many different opinions on what game is better, and personally, in my personal opinion, I like them both. I love both racing simulations, and it's not because I'm a petrol head or anything like that. I mean, Gran Turismo I struggle with because of obviously the parts, the upgrades and everything like that. But the only reason I know a few other things like that is because I've grown up around it. My parents were, well, my dad was a mechanic, and I kind of grasped a few ideas off him and things like that. That's why I can kind of grasp both. But if you're just looking for a racing game to play, then I would suggest Forza, because it's the easiest out of them both to really play, really get in depth with, if you're not into the customization and things like that. If you're looking for a more in-depth racing experience with a racing wheel and everything like that, gears, pedals, and you have obviously your racing setup, if you're that kind of person that can afford that, if you can pick between those two, I would definitely suggest the Gran Turismo, because they were absolutely awesome games. And like I said, it started off the racing franchise as a simulation, not just as an arcade race or like Ridge Racer and games like that, similar to like Burnout, things like that. They were strictly just for fun, whereas these were more of an enthusiast game. So yeah, I like them both. What I want is for you guys to turn around and say which is your favourite, which one you prefer, and in which case have your opinions on what's what, basically. So like I say, you guys comment to me, tell me which one's your favourite, or if you don't like them at all and you prefer arcade races, even give me a shout then. So, you know, but like I say, do me that favour and that'd be awesome. And as I say every video, comment below, tell me your advice. Tell me your comments and advice even, I'm not really fussed. Like this video and obviously pass it along, let people subscribe. Okie doke guys, thank you very much for listening to me babble on about these two games, but it's one of those scenarios that I've been wanting to cover for a while, so, but yeah. Thanks for listening guys, and I'll see you guys again soon. Happy gaming in the meantime. See you later guys.